would you rather fuck a goat and have nobody know, or have everybody think you fucked a goat but you never fucked a goat? Like, I think that, bro, they should teach that shit in like theory classes. Think about it. So welcome back, guys, to another OfflineTV podcast episode, I believe episode 14. Today, I am cosplaying, role-playing, really going into the energy of our beloved host, Disguised Toast, and my amazing guest, Mr. Myth.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I actually wanted to start off by asking, do you prefer Myth, Ali? What do you like?
I like my real name, but also like I think Myth just for in terms of the viewers and all them used to me hearing Myth. I think like for camera, Myth is good.
Okay. Yeah. On camera, Myth. Off camera, don't ever call me Myth. That's weird.
It kind of, yeah, like straight up.
I know what you mean. For me, it's a little bit odd. Like, I'm pretty okay with both. And for a long time, I really liked Poki. Yeah. Because my name, Iman, it can't be a nickname. What are you going to call me? Im? No, Im? Like, there's no nickname version of Iman. So I was like, oh, Poki's like such a cute nickname. But now, like several years into streaming, I'm like, I like my actual name. Yeah. I'm a human being, not just Pokimane.
Hell yeah.
But it's kind of odd because like almost everybody in OTV still calls me Poki. And I'm like, you've known me for 5 years. Yeah,
okay, so for me, if we're tight and if we've known each other for a while, like I don't want you calling me Myth.
Same.
It just feels, for me, it feels so just...
Especially during
I like the separation.
Yeah, same.
You know what I mean?
Especially during personal conversations. I don't know, like imagine... Imagine someone was like proposing to you and they're like, Myth, will you marry me? You're like, that's not even my real name.
Yeah. Or you're talking about like, man, we've really gone through some hard times, Myth. What? Pokimane.
Yeah. Thanks for really being there for me through everything. Yeah. My lovely friend Pokimane. It's like,
yeah. Just
feels
not there.
weird.
It doesn't hit the same. It just doesn't hit the same.
It doesn't.
Real name hits diffy in those scenarios for sure.
But then do viewers ever call you Ali and you're like, you don't know me like that though?
Yeah. Like you'll see a message in chat and you'll be like, yo, what's up, Ali? And I'm like, I feel like, have you ever seen the videos like the teachers that get called by their maiden name, bro? Yeah. That's how I look at chat. I hit it with like a, oh.
Yeah.
No, you don't know me.
You don't know me like that.
We can get to know each other though,
I think sometimes you get the vibe from someone that they're doing it intentionally too.
Oh, like they're like,
I know your real name.
It'll like pop out.
Yeah. I'm like, it's just a Google away. It's not that deep.
Trying to stand out and shit.
Yeah. Anyways, so happy to have you.
Thank you.
I feel like for those that don't know, I've known you like so long.
Bro.
We like came up on Twitch together during the Fortnite days, way back in the day, like 2018. Crazy.
We need to talk about that actually.
Let's talk about it.
Because there'd be a lot of times where I'm sitting down thinking and I'm reflecting on like, I tweeted about something like recently that was just like, hey, yo, you guys, thank you for like, just speaking generally to my community, thank you for you, allowing me to grow up and like develop as a person and still being there, with me through all that. And then right after that tweet, I was like, bro, there are people in this industry that have like, bro, they could have ended me. Or not like ended me, but like there were certain things that I did, and specifically to you as well, that like what? I look back on it and I'm like, dude, what the fuck was I thinking? I was like, what the fuck?
I don't remember, like what?
Okay, I'll break it down. Bro. So there's one infamous fucking clip that trended on Twitter on TikTok, recently, where you're like you get Mimi, I think. It was like for the first time. Like you just got Mimi.
Yeah.
And you're talking to me and we're in a Fortnite lobby getting ready to play. And you're like, hey Myth, you should come over and see my cat. Super normal tone. Like nothing weird about it. And I'm looking at the camera like this, like I have a drink, I start sipping it, I'm like, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I look back at that clip and I'm like, bro.
I remember that clip, but I didn't remember your end of it. I just remember I saw it on like a YouTube video or something, and I was so annoyed because I was like, why are people making a big deal out of this? I literally got a new kitten. She's so cute. And I'm saying you should come see my new kitten. And she is very cute. But I understand. I think it was like, for me at the time, I don't recall many instances where I was mad at you. I was more so mad at like general treatment that I was receiving. And I also think, even though I was still pretty young, I very much recognized how young you were.
Yeah.
You were like fetus level, bro.
Baby. With my braces and like.
Yeah, no, like you
like
were
gunners,
fetus
dude.
level. And I could tell, I don't know.
You've told me before. No, actually, no,
there's just
speak
like
on it. Speak on it. You can speak on that shit. Because that shit's real as fuck.
Yeah, when you're young and you first start experiencing like any level of fame, I think especially as a guy in a male-dominated industry, like everybody's just hyping you up. And it's not necessarily that, I mean, for some people it does get to their head and you see a bad side of them.
Yeah.
For some people it gets to their head or like it gasses them up and they just get a little carried away.
Yeah.
So I could tell that maybe you were a little carried away in moments.
Yeah.
But I could also tell that like deep down you had a good heart. Like if I ever brought something up to you and it was an issue, like you would for sure care about how I felt or change whatever needed or whatever. But a lot of other things that I saw you do or say, I was like, he'll grow up. He'll grow out of it. It's whatever.
Yeah.
So
there was also another moment that I don't know if you remember.
this is apology podcast. I love it.
It really is an apology. Dude, I've had,
Let's go.
this is honestly fucking therapy for me. Because I haven't gotten to like properly sit down and talk to you about these things. You know, you've kind of been in my
But
chat
I'm
from time to
happy
time.
to see that like you've pondered on it. I hope it makes you feel better to know I don't remember anything. I've got more annoying shit to deal with. You're fine. You're a great dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. Get it off your chest.
Yeah, so there's this one time where, dude, I even remember where we were like landing. I think we were at like, what were one of the farms called?
Where we were dropping. The farm places were my favorite.
In the south. It was the one in the south. I forgot what it was called, but anyways, regardless.
I don't remember either, but I loved dropping on the farm area.
The farm areas were lit. But there was a clip, and I think you were like, yo, I'm going to go use the bathroom. And then I said, bro, I said, oh, are you going to meet X person in the bathroom?
In person or the bathroom in game?
No. Like in person.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did I hear that or were you saying it to your chat?
No. You heard it. And then I was saying it to my chat, but I was doing it unmuted. And I was trying to like pitch it as like, there's no excuse for it, but it was just I was just being dumb and weird and getting carried away in the moment. And then I remember you came back and you went, Myth, don't you ever fucking say anything like that ever again.
Let's go.
Yeah. And I was like,
21-year-old Poki, let's fucking go. Tell him.
I was like, yeah, true.
Aww.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even remember that. But
That's fair.
I was glad that I said something.
No, same.
That's good.
Absolutely.
And it was probably instances like that where I'm like too far and you're like, oh yeah, my bad. That make me realize like, oh, you're just young and you don't mean it. And hopefully you'll learn from it and whatever.
Okay.
You feel better?
I feel so much better.
I'm glad.
Thank you.
That's so funny. Yeah, honestly, things that happened way back then, I only remember the super bad shit, and none of that was you. I think just because I always knew your intentions weren't bad, and we had like a friendship foundation to go off of. So, yeah. I hope you know none of that shit scarred me. Respect. And I'm very happy to see the person you've grown into and will continue to grow into.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
You're very welcome. Actually, in that same, train of thought, what has it been like essentially like growing up on Twitch, streaming?
Dude, it's been really hard.
I want to say I can only imagine, but like I did it too.
You can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff that you voiced out as well that I've been like, damn, I heavily relate to that shit. And I think one of the major things is really, really figuring out who you are as a person when you're kind of always being tied back to what people are expecting you to be and wanting to service them. And it honestly feels like just the past year and a half, 2 years during COVID and quarantine and stuff, I've really started making steps toward like, you know, I might, who I want to be, and being okay with the fact that that might not be what
other people want.
Yeah, what other people want. And that's kind of, that's like a weird or tough thing to accept as a streamer or as an entertainer, because it might mean that you might have a decrease in following, fanship, or whatever. But it's all, I think you just got to come down and realize like what ends up being more valuable for you at the end of the day or in the long run. And for me, I definitely decided that like being authentic to myself and being authentic to those around me, even my online community, is like super important to me.
That's really, really good. And I actually think in the super macro long term, it can pay off a lot more.
I do, yeah.
Because if you're forcing something too much, like you will burn out. And especially when you're growing up on the internet, like I feel like if you want career longevity, you can for sure attain that. But at least something that I've struggled with, and I can only imagine you do as well, because you're younger than me, is like you can't really find yourself while streaming.
No.
If you're streaming 8 to 9 hours a day, like you're not spending any time on just being a normal human being, experiencing things organically that lead to any sort of character or personality development. So you have to take so much time to kind of put effort into that.
Yeah.
Like I'll say from my perspective.
By the way, sorry, I hate to cut you off, but I love the wording you use there, where it was like, it's an effort. It's something you have to actively fucking do. Because it is, you do end up, you'll say, you know, I realized I was 20 and outside of gaming and like playing Fortnite, I was like, shit, what do I like?
Yeah.
I was like, and then you go into a room where you're trying to meet people
I'm
or
like
talk to people.
what do you do for fun?
Yeah,
like,
I just feel empty.
Game, and what do you do for work? I game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think when you, sorry, no, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, so I'll explain my perspective kind of, and I'm curious to hear yours. So for me, I think we started streaming around the same age. Like you maybe started when you were 17-ish?
18, 17.
Yeah, I started when I was 17 too. And I did that, and then I did university, and then I went back to full-time streaming. And a lot of my friends or counterparts in the industry, a lot of them are like 5 years older than me. And sometimes I see how engrossed they can become in work. And sometimes I'm like, oh, like that's also something that I should do. But what I kind of felt, or what I'm trying to remember is like, prior to the last 5 years, they probably spent the first half of their 20s just being like regular young adults, doing whatever they want and like accumulating a set of experiences that normal young adults do, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, if I started streaming at 17 and then I went to university and then I went full-time at 21, if I spend 4 years grinding streaming, now I'm 25, if I then spend the next 5 years grinding streaming, I went my whole 20s never getting to just be a normal ass person.
Sorry, I had to write notes because I really like the way you put that shit out.
Oh, thank you.
Straight up, that
Right, so it's like you can't constantly compare yourself to like the hamster wheel that is streaming, no matter how incentivizing it is. Tantalizing, is that the word?
Yeah.
Or how much like you kind of want to.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, once you're caught up in it, if you don't set time aside to do other things, it will never happen.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Absolutely.
For you kind of started from the same age. So do you kind of like try to break your life up in ways like that? I don't know. I'm probably like thinking way too long term. I don't know.
No. Sorry, I and when you say break it up that way, do you mean like in relationship to like be realizing that you're like 4 years behind and stuff? And
and that like if I am to do what other people do all the time, like my life won't look the same as theirs because they have prior experience that I never got to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that I feel like that's just healthy as a human being.
Yeah, I
kind of have that time.
Yeah, I've always. There've been a lot of times where I've been like really hard on myself and been like, man, I feel like this person is all about like these things and is really cool and has these interests. And then I think it's honestly been like talking to a lot of my friends that are also like, I kind of have the same, I have the same like social scenario with you where you have a lot of your friends that are like older than you.
Yeah.
So I talk to a lot of my older friends and they're like, dude, you're a kid. It's like, just literally, you're a child. Just give yourself time. Go do, if you like something, go do it. Try to set aside time to do it. And all that's going to like, that's all going to pay off. Like, stop trying to compare yourself to, you know, Tim the Tap Man.
People who have lived so much longer than you.
Yeah. That is, you know, has kids, did the whole college experience.
Yeah.
And has had way more life experience than you have, than you've had.
So true.
Yeah.
It's weird because like I'm 25 and sometimes it's almost like I try to parent myself. Like, you know how if you have a kid, you kind of like want to manage them in some way so that they grow up like a healthy individual. I almost try to do the same thing to me as me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
dude, same.
I should, but I think that's really healthy and that's good.
Yeah, I think taking care of yourself like you're responsible to is huge. And so that's funny that you
honestly,
have a similar
I think
dialogue.
that's a form of like self-love, like doing that type of shit to yourself.
Bro, it is. There's been really emotional times where I've like looked at myself and I've just had like a talk with myself where I'm just like envisioning a little child me, little baby me, and I've been like, what do you want to do today? And then he comes up with all these things like, okay, we're going to do them.
Let's go. That's so cute. That's so freaking cute.
So that's hella relatable, man. And that's super good. I'm super happy that you've kind of, I feel like you've gone, you're at the other end of the shit that I'm like somewhat going through right now.
Oh, good.
At least to some degree, right?
To some extent, yeah. I get what you're saying. Is there any, like, do you have any questions or like any issues that you feel you haven't solved? Because at least to me, when I was in your position, I was like, where the fuck is the handbook for this shit? Like, I wish that there was someone that I could ask these questions to, especially having been like one of the first prominent female streamers in like mainstream a little bit more. It really felt like there was no one that I could go to. And at kind of a young age, it was kind of two things that I was tackling at once, like attention at a young age and being the first female streamer to do XYZ.
That's a lot.
So yeah, in your situation, are there things that like you're unsure about, that you're trying to solve?
Have you ever gone through like a transitional phase in your career and it felt like who you were as a person and the lack of life experience you have is sort of like inhibited you? Or is inhibiting you?
I think you can feel that who you are as a person or your lack of experience can inhibit you almost in any regard of your career, whether you're transitioning or not. Okay. But I do get what you're saying. What kind of transitions are you talking about in regards to games, branding, like general career lifestyle?
I think it's more so in relationship to like the types of content that I want to make. Because I feel this shift in me as a person where I'm like, I don't want to be bunkered down in my room playing video games for like 12, 14 hours a day. I have a lot of these interests. Like I want to learn piano and I want to, go to a gun range with my friends. I want to shoot a little bit more. And I feel like, I feel like with the interest changing out and my brand and my online presence being so attached to what I was when I was, 17, 18, 19, that there's like this fear about like jumping into what's next and to what's potentially new for me and what could potentially be good because of that like attachment, that like triangle of attachment.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And at least from my perspective, I always almost like envied the people that were older than me because I'm like, you guys spent a lot of time figuring out who you were and what you like, and now you can just like build whatever because you're already so secure in that. And I'm so like, I swapped my favorite color 6 months ago. It's peach now. It was blue before. I'm a new bitch.
Yeah.
But yes, I totally get what you mean. I think my biggest piece of advice in that regard is like, just don't do anything drastic. And take every new thing that you want to pursue casually, because it truly is. And it's whether you're like 21, 22, 25, 30, 35, you're gonna have new things that you want to explore, that you want to see. Some of it will stay with you, the things that really resonate. And I think that's kind of how you build like who you really are.
Yeah.
And some things won't. So I think I would just say like, yeah, one step at a time. Don't make it kind of like a big deal, as opposed to like one day waking up and being like, I'm 23 now and I'm myth and I'm edgy and I do this and whatever. And like all my branding is this.
Yeah.
If you do it like in a really, really harsh way, it's like, if anything, you're putting yourself in just another different box.
True.
But I'm really happy to hear that you want to explore all these other things. And I think that'll be really, really good for you. And it's the kind of stuff that like it shows your humanity to your community and it makes them relate to you as a multifaceted person. So I really like that.
Gotcha.
I think
Thank
you're going to
you.
do great.
That was helpful.
I'm glad.
Yeah. Reassuring. I didn't expect this to be like a therapy session, you know, like
I didn't mean
we're
it
bringing
to
it
be.
back. No. It's totally, I love it because I love having these conversations. These conversations and like these topics really like, this is the type of shit that I like talking about. This is good shit.
Me too. And you don't really get to talk about it that much in this industry. Like imagine being in the freaking Fortnite lobby. Hey, so like I'm just really not sure about my identity as a person. But let's drop in Tilted Towers, bro. Like it's just not gonna happen.
I had to try so hard not to spit out that fucking water.
Yeah, and especially when you're streaming, oh my God, I could go on and on and on about like the pressure that other people put on you in regards to what they want of you. And that's something that is really hard to describe unless you kind of have gone through it.
Yeah.
Because like even just the pressure that your parents have on you. Two people that are like authority figures that are like, hey, we want this from you. And that's a freaking lot, right? Now imagine just hundreds of thousands of random people in the world telling you their expectations of you as one sole human being living their life. Like you're 22 and you're like, I don't know if I like golf or soccer. Like what? Actually, that also, so the other day, Myth asked me if I wanted to go to the shooting range with him. And it's interesting. Let me tell you my thought process during things like this. For starters, shooting range, scary. And then there's a part of me that's very like curious. I'm interested. Mind you, this was going to be streamed. So on one hand, I'm like, that's really scary. I don't like guns. I'm Canadian. In my mind, you go above the US border, all guns disappear. They just like into the air. They don't exist there. Like I just didn't grow up, into the air. I didn't grow up knowing much about guns, so like they're kind of scary to me. I'm only comfortable with the ones in game. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, a shooting range is typically pretty safe, like it's controlled, and you're really just like trying out a new thing. Which maybe you could compare to like, you know, shooting a bow or doing archery or whatever, right? Which I usually wouldn't say no to. But then I also have to consider that layer of like, this is gonna be streamed, and I feel like it will be like a statement to people for me to be shooting a gun. I don't know whether it is or not, but I'm pretty sure it will be to some people. And it's like, I don't have enough gun political knowledge to make any sort of statement, so I'm gonna keep my ass at home. So yeah.
Totally understand.
That
makes a lot of sense.
Tough to add that layer of decision making to certain things, but it kind of just is what it is. Have you gotten any weird feedback when you went to the gun range, or were people pretty cool with it?
No, I think everyone is like pretty cool with it.
Yeah?
Especially, I think last time we went and it was like on a Hassan stream as well, and he didn't receive. I don't think he received any backlash from it.
That's good.
So it was generally pretty well received. Yeah.
But also it makes me scared. I'm a girl. And I just know some random dudes are gonna be like, you shouldn't be shooting guns. That's really aggressive. Woman, do this. And I'll be like, ugh, don't talk.
Don't talk.
Yes.
Silence.
Yes. The mouth, close it. The fingers, retract them. But yeah.
Yeah, that's really sweet. Yeah, I think one of my concerns as well was like streaming it in general and safety. And then after I've like started fleshing it out, I'm like, we're gonna have like a security detail there personally.
That's cool.
We have like a totally private range as well, so
That's
it like kind of
really,
comforted
really
me a
cool.
little bit more into actually doing it and going and streaming it. But yeah, without those things, I would be like, monkers.
Yeah, it is a little monkers.
Yeah. Especially, dude, Hassan's ass.
I know.
It's political Paul.
I know.
Scares the fuck out of me.
I'm surprised political Paul didn't get much backlash, actually. But then again, it's just something I'm like pretty clueless about. So I don't know if people care about it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not too sure, genuinely. Especially, I mean, honestly, you have to layer that like you're a female in the space and just people just act weird based off that.
Yeah. Are there a bunch of stuff that you have to like worry about with that? Like, how often are you making that decision consciously of like, oh, I can't do that because I'm this?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, actually.
Almost anything content related. Like, numerous times throughout, just creating content, like all my years as a content creator, I've wanted to maybe do things like workout routines or workout streams or even post like progress photos. And I'm like, I just know people are going to be weird. And then it's just like, do I want to deal with the weirdness or not? And you only have so much bandwidth for weird shit, you know?
Yeah.
So it sucks. But what you gonna do? I do think I edge closer to running out of shits with every couple months, so that's good. Yeah.
I gotta ask her in like another month and a half.
I get a little bit more and more immune of like whatever. And a good thing I've started doing is like sometimes I just post shit and I just like leave. Like I'll just eat my phone, go do something random.
Yeah.
So it's like I like that because it kind of creates this cycle in my mind that's like, just do a thing, don't feel that instant feedback, and then whatever. Yeah. I feel like that allows you to more authentically be yourself as opposed to like seeing that feedback right away and having that determine whether or not you feel good about what you just did. Instead, it's like, oh, I felt like doing this thing, so I did it and I posted it and then I left. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You live and you learn, right?
In 2 years, she's going to be holding an AK and chewing on a cigar.
I mean, but that's so funny to me, you know?
She's going to be posted up like me in that in the shoot room.
Yes.
Looking like El Chapo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough because, like, I think it would be an interesting experience to shoot a gun. Especially because I shoot a lot of guns in game.
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't agree with a lot of gun laws, a lot of gun issues and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like you very quickly go from this to people assuming this sometimes. So, yeah.
You're right. Actually, I had another question for you. You said you started streaming and stuff when you were 17, right? Mm-hmm. Was there a time before that where you made content, like as like a kid or just randomly, just like on some dumb shit?
I always wanted a YouTube channel. Since I was like 12. And me and my friend were like, let's make a YouTube channel together and like, we'll post videos like every Sunday. Because she was in another city and we were like family friends and we didn't see each other that often. Never did that.
0 uploads.
0. Nada. But in high school, there was like a computer class, and I think everybody kind of had this, where you have to make like a video of something.
Yeah.
We made a music video to I the Tiger.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's still on the internet.
Right
and like
on.
my hardcore subs, like they know.
Oh, they know where it is?
Yeah, it's so bad. But it's also kind of good. Like it's really bad, but it's kind of good.
No, well, okay.
It's really cute.
Is it good because it's like you get to look back at like a time of your life type shit?
Yeah, it's like funny and it's like a bunch of high schoolers. It's the the Tiger. Like we're doing all these stupid dances and stuff.
Yeah, it's like I relate with that shit because I as a kid I used to upload. I had like 3 different YouTube channels.
Really?
Where I just like tried doing shit.
I think I remember seeing random videos of those.
Yeah,
Did
like
you do like tutorials and stuff?
I did like Minecraft Let's Play and like Call of Duty tutorials.
Minecraft.
Yeah.
Wow, and how was that?
It was great. I mean,
that's so cute.
There was so I used to record on like my mom's laptop in my sister's basement when I would babysit her kids. So it just like teleports me into like being on that couch,
that time.
Slouched down like this in the couch, being like, "Hey guys, today I'm gonna be building my Minecraft house.
We've come so far.
And I made a 2nd level floor for my house. So yeah. And then there's also this video
wholesome.
where I remember I was a little bit older. I was maybe in like middle to late middle school. And I like didn't like my camera being in face because I was like really insecure actually about being like a mixed race and never like fit in with people. So I was really like in between areas of like who I was. And I was just like, I seen that on stream one time and I just started crying up because I was like, you made it so far, you little bastard.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cute. Actually, it's really interesting that you mentioned that because I feel like I've always felt kind of similarly. And I think that's probably why it puts us in even like a little bit more of a difficult situation in this position where we're like trying to figure out our identity. Because I'm sure for you, as someone who's mixed, it's been something that you've struggled with your whole life. And for me, it's been someone who's like an immigrant Middle Eastern girl who's like white passing, but also not. And it just always felt like I didn't really fully fit in with people who were like super Arab and super Middle Eastern, but I also did not fit in with like the white girls with straight hair and blue eyes. And when you grow up that way, I feel like it's something that kind of follows you for a while. And it's something that you like really have to work through. So I'm interested to hear about like your experience, whether you feel that's reflected in your career in any way.
Yeah, there's just a lot of times where I'm like, man, you know, maybe if I like fell into this category a little bit more, or if I fell into this category a little bit more,
I would fit the mold.
I would fit the mold that people perceive, you know, this X group, and then I would be more like approachable or more likable generally. And that's been like, actually me vocalizing that is like, that's toxic as fuck. Like just hearing that. I think it's really
that idea.
Yeah, I think it's really it's a toxic expectation to be like to want what you aren't for the acceptance of other people.
Yeah.
I think it's just toxic as shit. And it just doesn't do much for you. It doesn't make you happy in the long run. I think, you know, accepting who you are entirely and collectively is what brings you more happiness in the long run.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
It's just, it's tough. There's just so many things at play. For starters, I think it's always easier for people to almost like consume and digest you as a person when you fit neatly into a box or a mold, right?
Yeah. You know what? I'm so happy to share this experience.
Dude,
actually.
I completely know what you mean because I grew up my whole life.
It's the first time we've like actually talked about this shit too.
I've never had like a group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same.
And I've always envied that. And I'm like, I must be one weird motherfucker to not get along with people enough for that, right? But in reality, it's just like, I also feel like we are in a period of time where we are moving more and more into, there's a lot more like ethnically ambiguous people. Even like, whether it's your gender, your sexuality, like we're starting to be more open to people not having to be just one specific thing.
Yeah.
But during this process, like it will lead to a lot of people feeling kind of out of place until there's enough out of place people that they can form their own groups.
That's
you
true
know?
as fuck, actually. I never thought about that,
Right?
but that's true as fuck.
And like, I feel like at the end of the day, that's going to have to be the people that we get along
We be
with.
making mixed babies like a motherfucker nowadays in 2022, bro.
It's time.
That's real shit.
But I can imagine, especially like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, like it was still quite the process. And those few people that were kind of like left out. But hopefully we're moving towards better days. And I think it's just good to kind of like accept that as potentially a part of your growing up. But also, you know, not to kind of like look at yourself in any negative way and just allow yourself to be whoever the frick you want to be.
I agree.
Yeah. But then it's also hard because of online pressures, like in our position.
Yeah.
It's like
It's layered. It's a layered cake, bro.
There's so many layers to this onion, bro. It's got me crying.
Yeah, we're peeling them back. I like that. That's what's up.
Me too. And I feel like it's interesting to hear like the similar experiences that we've had, even though we're like quite different people. I wish people talked about that kind of thing more. And Yeah, I guess I'm just excited for like the world in like maybe 10, 20 years. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure it'll have its issues, but at least some of these things will, I think, be much, much better,
Yeah.
which will be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. Truly.
I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about like streamer trends? Because you've been streaming for a really long time, and there's always like a certain game or thing that's very meta. How do you feel about maybe falling into those things or not? How do you choose what kind of things to do or kind of like give into, or just to kind of go with the flow and do whatever you want?
I think that that's something that I've always kind of struggled with as well, because as cool as I think certain trends are, there are a lot of trends where like shit just doesn't hit for you personally, and you're like, fuck.
And it feels like a chore to do, right?
Yeah, it feels like a big chore, and so it's always, I feel like it's always this battle of going back and forth of like, do I hop on trend even though I may hate my life, or do I not and just keep doing what I'm doing, but accept the effect of it, which is it having like a negative temporary or long-term impact on your career. Yeah. So I think as of more recently, I've actually trended toward not following the trends that I'm not super into, only because I'm really like gung-ho on this journey of figuring out who the hell I am and being confident with that person. So
I'm really happy to hear that. I think that's so cool. Is that something you've shared with your viewers? Have you found that a lot of them are maybe on a similar journey as you?
yeah, there's a lot of, I've shared it probably not in this detail to the amount of specifics that we've gone into, but I've talked to like something that I relate with, that I tell my chat all the time is like, hey, we're all young as fuck. We're all trying to figure out who the hell we are. And I think that's a really special thing that we have here over at twitch.tv/myth. Yeah. It's like we all literally grew up together. You guys watched me when you were 16.
Yes.
And I was 17 or 18. And it's been fuck man, it's been what, 4 or 5 years now. And I'll get people being like, yo, Myth, I'm graduating college. Like crazy
so
that we've been watching each other for a little bit. And I'm like,
I've been watching you
Damn.
my whole 4 years in college.
Yeah, for real. Oh. So it's been something I've been able to, that I actually get really happy when I have those conversations or share that sentiment with my chat, because I think it's a really special thing.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you can like have some form of influence on a person's life without even really knowing. But that's basically
It's
what
the craziest
streaming
shit,
is.
bro.
Yeah, just putting yourself out there and kind of anyone can plug in
Yeah.
or tune in.
It's the craziest shit. Some of the messages you end up getting where you're like, me?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Bitch, you lying. You lying.
You're flattering me.
Yeah.
It's really, really wholesome.
But it's real and it's true. So it's amazing. It's amazing and scary all at the same time, man. It's amazing and scary all at the same time. And I fuck with people that understand that, because I think that they're like, if you don't have that fear of how your influence is impacting people, I think you end up you have potential to do a lot of harm with your platform and the shit you're making.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's so true. Especially for a young audience, like it blows my mind and is very frightening to me that some kids spend more time with like a content creator than they do with their own parents,
Yeah.
and therefore value their opinion or how they set an example far more than their own parents.
Yeah, bro. And then okay, there's this sentiment that some streamers have around, it's not my job. And
You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it.
yeah, because I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. Because so for me personally, I'll start off like when I hear people say like, it's not my job, like parents should be parents. It's like true, you're right on that. But if you're going to use that as a justification to do the shit that you're doing and to not care about the things that you're doing, it's like, you know what you're doing, motherfucker. Like, you know that you're just playing this game and you're just playing with people right here. So that really bothers me.
No, honestly, I completely agree. It's like, they'll just say, it's not my job. Parents should parent their kids. True. Actually, the first one, debatable. But that's true. Ideally, parents should be responsible for what their kids watch, what they do, generally trying to shape and have them be your responsibility. But there's also just the fucking reality of it all.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's like, if you want to sit there and say,
Yeah.
it's not my job to parent your kid, sure. But also the reality is that some kids, and if you know that your audience skews towards being younger, like you just know that's the reality of it.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, that's an
And
important thing
therefore,
to know,
it's almost
actually.
like
You're
a
right.
responsibility that is thrust upon you, whether you like it or not. So I think that's just a little bit copium.
Copish.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I think
do you think people say that as like to like take some of the stress off the shoulders of like being a streamer? Mm-hmm. So cope in that way?
I think it's something that makes them feel better about not caring.
Yeah.
It's like there just are certain scenarios where you should be realistic about your impact. And sure, you can talk about what is ideal, but also talk about what is real and true and going on right now, which is
Facts.
that kids follow in the footsteps of what they see online almost far more than what they see in person, especially depending on like how involved a parent is in their child's life.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know the word I was looking for. Ooh. Delusional. It's like, sure, it's like you can say a fact. It is not exactly your job to care about that. A child is not technically your responsibility. A parent should parent. Sure.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me that you will not have an impact on your viewer's life or on a kid's life if all they do is listen to you, if all they do is regurgitate what you do.
Yeah.
So sure, yes, but that last point still stands true.
True.
So I guess that's how I see it.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like at the end of the day, just be realistic. No one's asking you to be perfect, but just pay attention like what you do, how that reflects in how your audience behaves, things like that. Like I still think people should be able to say and do what they want to like a certain extent, but if it's very clearly shown that somehow, reflects in also your audience behaving negatively, then maybe take that into consideration. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. That's my take.
That reminds me of when before knowing any of you, the way I would use social media is like only my friends are following me. Yeah. So I would post stuff that like is obviously not true, but they know it's not true to the point where it's like, it's fun. Like we're all trolling together.
Yeah.
But then now that there's like people following me and they don't really know me, I can't post that stuff anymore.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'll type something and be like, oh, I shouldn't.
That's actually, did you have social media where it was just like you fucking with your friends?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Dude, honestly, lucky you, because the transition you're talking about sucks.
Was it a bitch?
So often, the amount of shit in my drafts, bro. I should auction off my drafts because there's some shit in there. There's so much stuff that like I wish I could just tweet out like a normal 20-something-year-old, like just type whatever the heck I want, but I can't. Mm-hmm. And that's just a reality of the situation. Isn't one of my favorite parts about the position I'm in? No. But it's just something you have to keep in mind, and it's like, do you accept the repercussions of whatever would happen?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
What were your guys' relationships with social media like before you got into the space? Because for me personally, I'll give you a little base to work with here. For me personally, I didn't like social media. Mm-hmm. I didn't fuck with social media at all. Like I didn't want to be
my favorite kind of people.
Yeah, I don't want to be somebody so badly. Like it was almost like a personality trait. Like real shit. So
that is for some people.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't really use anything except Twitter prior to streaming. And I didn't use it for too long either. It was just like something I used in high school. Like maybe like 100 of your friends follow you or don't or whatever. Actually, that account I don't use anymore. I think I deactivated it or something. But yeah, I just used it maybe a couple years during high school, and that was really about it. Aside from that, I did have a Tumblr. Good times.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Tumblr was
But
shit.
that was more so just like for making random connections online, not really for posting between friends. Yeah. So it's less so that like I did used to tweet inside jokes with friends in college. That shit had to
Yeah.
go.
Well, see, like I wanted to like make my friends laugh. So I would do stuff like Photoshop myself like somewhere that I'm not actually, or like stuff like that.
Love that shit.
But like I'm really good at that. So like if I post that now, people be like, "Oh, he was at this?" Like no way.
Yeah.
Like no, I wasn't. Like
And then we're gonna get an email. Your director pretended to be at this. We're gonna be like, he's trolling. Leave him alone. Shitposting is an art. Allow him. No, I actually feel you, and I'm curious to hear your guys' take on this. Okay. For many years, like my favorite kind of trolling is just like where you look like an idiot. Like you're saying something that doesn't make sense or something that is just outrageous or whatever. Obviously not something that's offensive, just literally dumb. Like I remember one of my tweets that people bring up a lot is I wrote something like, would you rather fuck a goat and have nobody know or have everybody think you fucked a goat but you never fucked a goat? Like I think that... Bro, they should teach that shit in like theory classes. Think
really
about
should.
it.
There should
Go
be
ahead, pick an answer. Debate. Discuss.
But answering that publicly defeats the whole purpose of the question.
Huh?
Answering publicly defeats the purpose of the question.
No,
Because
it's still an
all-
interesting. It's still
an interesting question.
Because
Maybe
I think
for
it
us, but
goes
we're
to
not asking it.
it goes to show like, do you care more about public perception or what you truly do and act and like how you are as a person, like the experiences you've really gone through. But it's difficult because
It is.
those two things are like hard to weigh.
Nah, I have my answer. I'd fuck a goat.
You would fuck a goat just so everybody didn't think you fucked a goat?
Yeah.
Bro.
Real shit. Here's why. If everyone knows that I fucked a goat, my life has changed forever, bro. If I fuck that
If you
goat,
fuck a goat, your life has also changed.
No,
would
it
it
ain't.
not?
how would it be changed forever? No. Listen, would I be like a little bit would I have a weird, like, if I looked at a goat, would I like not look at goats the same? And would I be like scarred forever?
What if you never looked at like sexual things the same? Because you fucked a goat.
I think I would, well, okay, wait, do I have the knowledge that I'm fucking this goat so that nobody knows?
Yeah.
Perfect. I have like, yeah, no.
Because then
You
you got a
have
reason.
plausible deniability
Yes.
in your
You've got a
brain.
reason.
Yes. I know myself. I know I could convince myself that this was the choice. This is what I had to do to like carry on. Even if it might not be the most optimal choice, you know, we needed some people, please, to like do a whole psychological breakdown about this question.
Wow.
So that we really figured out. But Eileen,
For me, I
that's-
think I'm
yeah.
too like emotionally vulnerable. I could not go through. Okay, it's also interesting because I think the question is different for guys and girls. Like you're doing,
True.
and for girls,
True.
it's different.
Yeah,
I don't
bro.
think I would rather everybody just thought it. You know, I don't think I can go through the trauma. Good Lord.
Bro, can you imagine those fucking eyes like looking different ways?
Ew! No, I can't imagine. I would not like to. Anyways,
It is
really-
different. It is very. This should be a men
Right?
question.
I mean,
Well,
no,
I guess-
it adds a layer of interest.
But I feel like that's
to
a
the
crazy
question.
layer. That's a fucked up layer, yo.
It's interesting.
You're right. It is still interesting. You're right.
You know,
It's for both
Broden,
people still.
What are you doing?
I think I'm with Myth.
Maybe that's like the dude camp and the girl camp.
Probably, yeah.
Viewers, let us know.
But that also that speaks on an interesting thing where it's like in positions of dominance, you could just kind of like plausibly
Screw
deny
something over.
it. Yeah, and be like,
sort
had to
of-
do it.
Yeah.
Do something fucked up and be like, had to, sorry. Just because you were in like the, I guess like the, we're going to use the word alpha here.
the
Alpha
doing.
position. Yeah, the doing
Yeah.
position. I don't know. Yeah.
Jesus. That was all to say.
Wow. I want to watch a study on this question. You came up with that shit?
I don't remember. It was just something I tweeted so long ago.
Bro,
But
you
my point
claim that shit.
Okay, I'm gonna try to level the playing fields.
Yeah.
What if you're not fucking the goat?
Okay.
The goat's fucking you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, answer now. Now we're on the same
Then
field.
I'm with you.
Oh, okay.
I gotta Google something.
What are you Googling, bro? Because there's only so many things you could Google in this situation. Is it what the goats?
Like how long it lasts, or
I'm looking up the.
What? Yeah. What is the detail that? I think he's looking at the.
Wait. I'm looking at the average size of a goat dick.
like pictures or textually?
Contextually.
What kind of a podcast is this, bro?
Penile length of control goats was 26.80 plus 0.30 centimeters.
What is that in inches?
Let's do 27 centimeters in inches.
Wait, 27?
Centimeters.
That ain't shit. 20,
Oh.
Let me see. Wait. Oh, my Wi-Fi. My connection's really slow.
What? It's like roughly what, like 2 centimeters per inch?
Oh my God. Never mind.
Right?
It's like 10 inches.
Yeah.
that's like 10, 13
30
inches.
centimeters is like a ruler.
Yeah, I'm not fucking the goat. I mean, the goat's not fucking me. Sorry, I'm fucking the goat. My bad. My bad.
Good Lord.
That would be, I think that would fuck me up.
Right? Like
That would
that's
fuck
on.
me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I'd
right.
be very fucked. I don't know if this is too bad of a thing to include, but my whole point around this was like, this was some dumb shit I tweeted years ago.
Yeah.
But I like to tweet dumb shit like, let's talk about it, you know? And now, now I'm like, oh, like, you know, I'm like worried.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what I used to love about Twitter. That's not so
was the
much
fun, yeah.
Right? I remember like 4 years ago thinking, how is Twitter free? It was so funny, so full of just like everybody knew that everything was a joke. And that was really enjoyable. Like I would scroll through and be like, I'd pay $20 a month to use this platform. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
And now like Twitter scares me a little bit. There's a lot of great people, but there's just a lot. There's just a lot. And especially when you're in a situation where like anything that you say and do it can reach almost any audience, and people really like to kind of go against the grain. I'm just like, can I still tweet dumb shit? I'd really like to.
Yeah. I feel you on that. Dude, something that kind of reminded me of or made me think about was, dude, I wonder what being a kid and like consuming content and being in like the gaming, online, Twitter sphere space with like all the crypto fucking talk. Just nonstop. Imagine just being a kid, just
NFT is my trigger word. Stop. Jesus Christ.
But imagine just being a kid and like it almost seems like every fucking buddy you knew or watched was just like, yo, you need to make sure you buy some virtual property real estate for $400 million, or like it's a podcast.
Kids do like. Do you think kids do crypto?
Yeah, they're like TikTok channels of 14, 15-year-olds like trading NFTs.
And some of them get rich.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's like,
but okay.
but it's like,
tell me
here's the
if
thing.
I'm wrong.
They're from a fucking privileged position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like these kids they're doing the mommy and
And
daddy's
daddy's
allowance money, which is like $200 a week.
200?
Some wild
I
shit.
could ask my parents for money once every week or two, and it was $20 for a movie and popcorn.
Oh yeah.
That was my allowance, bro. $200 a week? I'd have a side hustle too. Honestly, I would too.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, the way most of crypto works, are you not essentially making money when someone else is losing money, kind of like stock market?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's why I feel like kids shouldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean,
because like, okay, if you're an
technically, yeah.
adult, you can decide to do whatever you want with your money, place bets however you want, whatever. If you're a kid and 0.1% of kids are making mad bank, that's because this TikTok algorithm is showing it to 100,000 kids that are losing all of their money.
Yeah.
That like one person will then profit from.
Yeah, a lot.
And also I'm only saying this from a perspective of someone who doesn't completely understand. So I'm assuming. I could be wrong.
No, you are. I've looked into it a bit more, and like to I think a pretty fair degree, you're right, because a lot of these NFTs and shit, they come out at a floor price. You buy it at the floor price, and then it's like, is this project going to go up or not? but like people have to sell for
In
it to be
order.
worth anything at the raised price. Like there has to be a buyer for you to make
issue
something.
is just the amount of rug pulls in crypto
Oh, yeah.
coins. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's
Unless
crazy.
you really
Yeah.
know what you're doing, or you're playing with money that you don't care about. Don't fucking do it.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth.
Especially because like it's just the beginning of like crypto, NFTs, Web3, all these platforms that will someday come out. Because it's the beginning, it's very, very prone to having a lot of scammers take advantage of the lack of regulation. Like, I get so angry anytime I see an influencer talk about a coin or an NFT.
They're pumping.
Come here, boy. Like, it's so fucked because
They're pumping.
yeah. For those that don't know, essentially, like, people will be paid to promote a certain coin, and then it will launch, and they are paid by getting a large amount of that coin. So once they withdraw all of their money, the price of the coin goes down, and everybody who purchased essentially loses money so that the influencer gets to pull a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Sort of. That happens a lot. It doesn't happen every time, but
That's
it
fine.
happens 98% of the time.
Happens a lot. Happens a lot. Yeah.
And it's sad, dude. It's
Actually,
sad.
to go full circle, one of the tweets that I considered doing was like I made like one night I was just bored and like made a bunch of like NFT looking drawings, or like I made one drawing and was like, oh, this is
That
like
looks like an
this could
NFT.
easily be an NFT. So I made like 6 versions where I just like put a hat on it and then put a beard on it and all
Oh
this
my
stuff.
God.
And I was like, I'll tweet that. And I was like, oh no, people are gonna think this is real and then like flame me for it. So I can't.
I did that shit.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
Oh,
tweeted.
yeah.
I
I
tweeted
think-
out. I tweeted out a picture of an NFT and made my first NFT purchase.
Yeah. I think I saw yours.
Memeing, right?
Yeah, I was memeing.
Good.
I also recorded like on my phone me Googling NFT and screenshotting the first fucking picture as the reply. And people were, a lot of people were
Why
pissed.
were they pissed?
I think in general, okay, so I think there's this.
Oh, were they pissed because they thought you were serious?
Yeah, they pissed because
Oh,
I thought
okay.
I was serious.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. And then after I posted the video, it was like a lot of like, ooh. And it's funny because there were a
Good.
lot of like crypto chuds that I like know are like shellers that were like, Myth, finally, like so good for you, and like defending me against like, like Twitter gaming, which, sometimes it's like Twitter gaming could take things a little too far. But in this case, I was like, you're mad, rightfully-ish so to some degree. But yeah, they're like flaming me hella hard, and then they were like defending me. The crypto chuds were defending me, and then I did that reply, and there was just none of them reply. I kept track of like who like replied to my like
None of
joke
them.
follow up. Nobody, and I was like, interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
Shit was funny. It was just memes. I was just fucking around. Nobody took it too personally.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
It's tough because, there's just it's an area where there's a lot of potential, and obviously a lot of people feel very strongly about it. Like, I tweeted something that was like, I hate seeing, especially celebrities, shill out coins or NFTs when you can tell damn well that they have no idea what they're talking about. I should show you guys the video. Like, legit, just celebrities being like, guys, like, there's this latest really, really cool coin. It's called this. And, like, 20% of the proceeds go to charity. And, like, let's all make money together. Crypto is the next wave. I'm like, you have no clue. Nothing up
Yeah,
here
and you know what's sad?
in regards to crypto. So, like,
Yeah.
you're just getting paid to say this. But people will still believe it because they think like, oh, I'm getting in on something early and I'm going to make a lot of money. Anyways, that's all to say. Like, I understand why some people really care about Web3, crypto, NFTs, all of that, and why they really believe in it. But you just can't deny that there's so much scamming going on that you can't just like run around promoting it blindly to people, and people can't blindly follow in.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of cool shit that could happen with that space, but there's just so many people that are just like trying to fucking do weird shit around it so that they make a buck or two. Yeah,
It makes me sad that so many people will make numerous bucks.
yeah.
Numerous. And it's like,
But a capital B on that bitch.
it's like, do you never sit at home and think, where's my money coming from? Like, you know, just go full circle with it. No.
Yeah.
Such is life.
Yeah, such is.
Okay, so we have weekly viewer questions where we answer questions. And if you would like us to answer yours, leave them down below in the pinned thread in the OTV subreddit. We put 1 or 2 each episode. For starters, we have mixing sauces. They ask, if you lost everything that you have ever owned tomorrow, including your reputation as a streamer, what would you do? You have any thoughts? You want me to go first?
You could go first if you got something cooking. Yeah, I'm just thinking.
I think if I was me right now, no streaming career, no nothing, but same brain, my most valuable asset is likely all my streaming knowledge. So I think I would just help a streamer slowly, bit by bit, likely become like their manager or agent, and then just kind of try to take off through them. And it's nice because then I wouldn't have to be in front of the camera. I just feel like if I'm at this point with all this knowledge, it's still a lot of work to make it as a streamer. Like, even if I know certain steps to take, it's still a lot of work and effort, and it's never guaranteed 100%. Most people that do make it, you're kind of an exception. Most people make it like 5, 6, 7 years into their career once they have like such a foundation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would just help manage a streamer or be an agent for them or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's a really solid response, and I kind of was thinking the same thing. Is that I would just go and try to like help or integrate myself with another streamer and help them out.
Yeah.
But then like there's also this other side of me that is like maybe I'll go back to school.
Oh,
I actually really
did you
want
have something in mind? I was thinking that, but I was like, I don't
really
have anything
have-
in
yeah.
mind that I'd want to do. What?
I would really want to do computer science.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I really want to do computer science, and
Good degree.
yeah,
Get in the
and I also
age.
want to. Oh man, I've been really really interested in like neuroscience. So that's like another field where I think I would want to go and like learn things
If
about.
you could integrate the two somehow, that would be very cool.
That would be cool. Cool shit. So yeah, I think
You know,
that's
you
my
could learn
response.
coding on the side. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I've tried multiple times, but the wall that I like run into is I'm on a computer for like 8 hours.
You don't want to be on a computer again.
And then I'm on a computer
something.
again. So I feel like, yeah, if I
That
wasn't a
makes
streamer or
sense,
anything,
yeah.
and the time that I would actually want to spend on a computer is like learning video game development, computer science,
Yeah.
and shit like that. Because that's personally like maybe like 20, 30 years down the line, one of my bigger aspirations is like I would like to like make a game or like own a studio or something like that. I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah, you totally should. Next, we have sensitive ad 4884. What was your guys' character in school? Were you the cool kid who had a lot of friends, or the introvert who stayed quiet most of the time?
Oh hell yeah! They got a little sneak peek of us kind of answering this earlier.
Yeah, true.
But I guess it kind of changed for different phases throughout school. So I think middle school, I was a lot more reserved, and I didn't really talk to anybody, and I was kind of always really worried about like, you know, what people were going to think about me. Blah, 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 blah. I don't fit in this group.
Everyone's like that in middle school.
Yeah. And then into high school, I think I was actually more comfortable with who I was. It's weird because I think I was more comfortable with who I was in high school than I
Than you
was
are now.
once I like got into the streaming world and shit, which is really interesting. But then on top of that, like I still wasn't popular, but I talked to everybody and I kind of like was able to fuck with everybody. But then outside of school, it was just like me.
Aw.
I just did my own shit and played video games.
Actually, it's probably because, I mean, you feeling potentially more confident then than you do now, or more
Yeah.
secure about who you are. It's probably because you didn't have as many people like questioning it or giving you their
facts.
input.
No, yeah, actual facts, yeah.
Yeah, unless they're just like nosy, weird people in high school, right?
Yeah,
So it's kind of easier to be whoever you want to be or however you want to be when there's less pressure.
Absolutely.
In that sense. For me, I was very much like a student council Andy, and a nerd. Like I cared a lot about grades, but I wasn't like an annoying nerd
No.
where like my grades were my life. It was
Okay.
just a big pillar of my life during high school.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
So
I was like the student council person that loved to like be a social butterfly, and I loved to jump from group to group and like make friends with everyone. But it was also because like there was never one group that I felt I fully fit in with, so I just made friends with everybody, and yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
And I was like secretly a gamer.
What, huh?
I mean, like you don't really talk about games with people in high school.
Oh,
'cause
secretly a gamer.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
secretly.
I thought you said I was secretly a gay person, and I was like, what? Huh?
When I was like, what did you think oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about your high school, but for me, people just didn't
Yeah.
really talk about games.
No, yeah, gaming was still like.
It was like my after school hobby.
Bro, I got made fun of for playing games.
Yeah.
One day waiting after school, I was like waiting there, and there was this girl sitting. I still know her name till today because of that story.
Ooh,
this
what's
story.
her name?
No, I gotta drop her name. Oh, well, okay, I'll say her first name, Nor. Sorry, her first name
okay.
was Nor. But we were chilling after school, and we were both waiting for our parents,
Mm-hmm.
and then, I was like, "So, what are you gonna do this weekend?" Small, just trying to make some small talk.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna hang out with my friends and like smoke weed."
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh, word, respect. Sounds like a good time. Sounds chill. Cool." Me being like the straight X, like high school
Yes,
kid,
I know what you
I
mean.
was like,
Same,
no.
same,
Yeah,
yeah.
internally, I was like, weed.
Weed. You want to die this weekend?
Yeah. But then she asked me what I was gonna do, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna play games. Like I'm gonna play some Counter-Strike. It's like a video game with like some friends of mine. And she was like, that sounds fucking lame. And then she left. And she walked out of the fucking door. And I was like, bitch.
Well,
Yeah, I guess so.
gaming was not cool 10 years ago.
And then Metro Detroit gaming and the 3-on-3 was not like this
Not
cool
in my
thing,
high
yeah.
school.
Maybe it's different because I went to an all guys high school, but like everyone played
yeah,
video games.
Did you go to school in Cali as well?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a big major thing as well.
But I went to like one of the top like jock high schools. Like Tom Brady went to my
Oh.
school, Barry Bonds, and everyone played video games.
That's what's
It's
up.
just super normal.
That's what's
For
up.
me, it
That's
was
nice.
like I made friends with guys who played games in a neighboring high school, not even my own.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
In middle school, gaming was more accepting amongst like all of us middle schooler like boys, and we all like kind of vibed over that and would talk about like arcades at lunch. But I guess once high school comes around and the hormones
You want
start
to be
flowing,
cool and go to parties and drink beer and
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, just priorities change, and some people stick
Yepers.
around with it. At least where I'm from, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My mom actually always was like. She was really bothered about me being a gamer, and like her friends used to like try to like cope and be like, he'll grow out of it. Don't worry. My Hassan grew out of it when he was 17 once he likes girls and goes to school. Bro, the first time I got a girlfriend, my mom was like, Alhamdulillah, you're not gay? Thank God. She did a big sigh of relief and went, astaghfirullah. And I was like, Mom, it's like, what? You always are indoors. You're always not, you don't ever talk about girls. You don't ever like, and I was like, because I don't care until now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a funny story.
Actually,
but
that
yeah.
reminds me. My dad, like, okay, high school dances, I don't know about you guys, but high school dances where I was from, raunchy. Like a girl took her top off in the middle of the dance floor once. Bleachers, that's where people did like the nasty. And people got drunk at dances all the time. But I was on student
Jeez.
council, so like we set up the dances, we coordinate things,
Yeah.
we like handle whatever. And so because I was on student council, like I had a reason to go to these things as well, as opposed to like if I wasn't, my parents would probably pressure me not to. But I had a reason and I set everything up and blah, blah, blah. But one time I told my dad, because my parents knew those dances were no good. And I was like, Bubba, I won't go to the school dance if you give me $40 of Nexon cash.
Oh, you pulled it with the Nexon card. card. You took a little trip to 7-Eleven, got a little NX.
He was like, fine.
Bro, hell yeah.
He would much rather I stayed in game than like partied and did that.
Fuck yeah, bro. You buying some
I was
magic
at home-
cubes?
No, I was buying cute ass outfits.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I had a great time. I was happy.
A fellow maple enjoyer.
Businesswoman since I was young. Yep. It was good times. Good
Right
times.
on.
But yeah, that was high school. It would be fun to have a high school podcast episode where we just talked about a bunch of things when we were younger.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I feel like high school is such a good
So
topic.
many things to talk about.
Yeah. Could it be a whole podcast?
Yeah.
I think so.
Series?
Oh.
Maybe it could.
I think only if you took questions from the audience
Yeah.
to drive episodes. But yeah, I think that's all. Anything you wanted to talk about? He left TSM, he joined Loaded, and he's a bad bitch.
Yes!
Anything else you want to say? Please shout out if there's anything you're excited about, if there's anything you're planning on doing. I was going to say you're streaming a gun thing tomorrow, but this is going to come out way after. Maybe check out the VOD.
No, just honestly, thanks for having me again.
Happy to
I
have you.
appreciate it. I think it's like, what is this, my third time on the podcast or third or fourth time? So it's been nice being a reoccurring guest and coming on. And it feels
happy
like,
to have you.
feels like every time I come on the podcast, I'm at like a different stage of my life. And we end up talking about like different shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also fun to be able to like, I guess, track the progress and feel that.
That's so
yeah.
true. And I feel like this is the point in your life where you will be changing a lot. So just take it easy. Go with the flow. Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Thanks, man.
You've got so much life to live. We kind of all do.
Yeah. Right on. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked, leave a like, leave a comment, especially about the goat thing, because I want it. And when you answer, I want to know your gender too, because that's important. Or like, you know, what end
Yeah, like
you
explain
would
the
be-
dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah. Like receiving or giving and that. Anyways, thank you. Hit that sub button, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.